So there are a few ways to tackle this in this next session. One is the kind of AI angle. The other is the kind of harsh commercial realities of running a brand, getting the product out there. And we always, when we host these conversations throughout the years with Transformation Conference, one of the kind of core topics we've always talked about is minimizing the overstock, minimizing the overproduction. It's one of the biggest problems in the industry. And the basic way of tackling that is basically make the products that you're actually selling to the consumer, so we don't have that overstock at the end of the season. Sounds simple. It's one of the biggest and most complicated problems. Anna Conning is nodding here in the audience. And we are going to talk about this from a couple of different angles today with this panel. Laurent, I'm going to start with you. Traveled all the way here from Belgium. Thank you for that. Lovely to welcome our other Northern European countries into the Scandinavian community here. Describe how you see this issue of the overstock at the end of the season, and how you have defined this problem that you're tackling.
Yeah, I think it is. First of all, I just want to acknowledge that it is a big problem. Like it's really hard to predict how much you're going to sell. If you underpredict it, you will not sell enough. If you overpredict it, you will have overstock. So typically, what we see, the solution for that or at least like how retailers solve this is through markdowns. It's actually through using price as a kind of, let's say, a volume driver. So what we do with how I look at it, I think the first part is, I think there are probably ways to make better predictions of how much you're going to sell, but not having them right now, I think the best potential solution at this point in time is ensuring that you will probably talk about that, but that the product is in the right location to be sold. And secondly, if it's not sold by the end of the season, you have the right price to accelerate the volumes, accelerate sales, and have the right sell-through at the end of the season.
Got it. Søren, I'm going to turn to you and let you describe your role and describe Zizzi for the audience before we go ahead.
Yes, my name is Søren. I'm Director of Operations for Zizzi. The reason I'm here is because I have the responsibility for our planning, and hence also that we have the right sell-through at the end of the season. Zizzi is a plus-size company, Danish plus-size company, primarily based in Northern Europe, so big in Denmark, Norway, Germany. And we own most of our distribution ourselves, which is also why we control the majority of markdowns ourselves. Yeah.
Got it. And we've talked before in previous session about this kind of the balance between being data-driven and have this gut feeling approach to fashion, which is always kind of present. Can you share your experience in moving from kind of that kind of gut feeling approach to being more data-driven?
Yeah, if we start looking at the discount or discounting of products, then in the old days, that would be half a year ago, we would discount by going through lists with products. So product by product, saying this should be marked down with 50%, this should be marked down with 40%. Insanely time consuming for the product people, and also very inaccurate, because if you have been through 100 products, then you are not as good as judging number 100 product as you were as judging the first product. So, and then there would also come, I would not say gut feeling, but perhaps also some feelings in place. Oh, I really liked this shirt when I bought it. Why doesn't it sell better? I will not discount it. So we would like to move to a more data-driven model, where it's a system or a technology that decides whether or not a product should be discounted and how much it should be discounted. So that is the path we have been on together with Markmi for the last 1 year or so.
And Laurent, describe, I mean, Søren is here to kind of represent a way of implementing your technology. Describe what Markmi is doing and how you are helping brands like Zizzi.
Yeah, in essence, what we do is we help fashion brands, really super focused on fashion, with setting the right markdown prices at the right point in time. I think it sounds very simple, but it's a massive value driver. If you do it wrong, you just burn money, basically. So we actually ensure that the price is the highest it can be, ensuring, of course, the sell-through at the end of the season. That's what we do. So we have been working with Zizzi and with a lot of other customers. I liked working actually with Zizzi because actually already the first day we came in, there was a big conviction that smart technologies, as what we are building, can help them with actually improving and automating the core processes, which I think some fashion retailers still need to be convinced, or in the process to being convinced. We were talking in earlier talks about what's certainly going to happen. I'm certain that this will happen, and so it's nice to work with Zizzi as they have this vision and they dare to act on the vision. So that's nice.
And talk about the AI component of what you do, because it feels like fundamental to making this work at scale. Moving from, if not gut feeling, this kind of manual process of assessing each individual product to something that operates on an AI level.
Yeah, I think just also fundamentally, I think gut feeling and style, like this is fundamental to the fashion industry, but this is more in how you create your garments. Like the price you put on your garment, I wouldn't say that gut feeling is the best guide for that. I think a better guide is like predictions, and we as humans are really bad at making predictions. Machines are way better at making predictions. They are not biased, or at least less biased. So what we do is we actually built an AI model. It's a bit of a buzzword. It's not Gen AI, by the way. It's just advanced statistics, and it allows you. Actually, what it does two things. It's forecasting the product life cycle for every product, and is forecasting the impact of a price change on actually your sales. If you know those two things, you can actually really predict very well what's going to happen with a certain price change in the future. And so that's actually these predictions then fuel an optimization algorithm, give recommendations to a user, and then he can in traditional fashion see if that's like in line with his expectations or not, if he wants to implement it. He also actually sees what's going to happen if he's going to implement it, so he can make really good trade-offs. He also gets multiple scenarios. I'm saying too much, I'm going to stop. But in general, like it's the machine is making the prediction, the human is adding the judgment, and then you get a way better results. That's what we see. We see typically uplifts of 3 to 7% extra margin. So this is super substantial for our customers.
We'll get back to some of the opportunities that this entail as well. I think there are many ways you can go there, but I want to bring in David in the discussion here. David, you are the CEO and co-founder of Impulso, tech company operating also in the relationship between brands and wholesale retailers. I'll let you describe that in a moment, but you also come from within brands. You have a long experience as an operator of fashion brands. How do you just give me a little bit a sense of your background and like what has been missing in terms of data operating? It's a big question, but I want to get that, since I have you here and your background, we want to get that sense, and from that moving into being a tech operator.
Oh, thank you for very easy question. Fantastic. Pulled my pants down directly. No, but I've been the CEO of Tiger of Sweden and Oscar Jacobson, and took that company Tiger to 1.2 billion. Starting off really, I've been since I started there 2003. It's been the whole journey. Today, also what I like what you're saying there is that we have so much data today that we collected, and what I really miss is that what are these tools that actually gives you actions, because it's up until now there's been a lot of it's up to the individual still, and we all know that we are I take a lot of decisions in my life with gut feeling, who take me to interesting places, not always the best. So I think that kind of orientation, what you describe and what we try to build in Impulso, is that you have massive quantity of data, but how will that actually pull down to actions? And then, of course, since I'm, what is the brand doing? What is the retail doing? That is the big fun part right now.
And talk about what is needed. Like you are focusing very primarily on brands' relationships with their retailers, their wholesale retailers, and traditionally there's been non-existent or very little data sharing in real time. Can you talk about like what is the situation, how you want to change it?
Right now, if I just take my own as example, when I was a Tiger, 1.2 billion in, or let's say 130 million euros, 65 million euros in own channels. Every single day, we're able to squeeze out the profitability, what's not selling, planning our production, buying fabrics, design team. Great. And then sending out 65 million euros to 1,000 point of sales in 19 markets. And we were totally blindfolded. Of course, you do your best, you call, you try to do, but we as a brand have no idea what the sell-through is among our partners. We're guessing what kind of actions we should do. And then 1 week before sales starts, everyone starts to call, can I send this back, and so forth. And everyone in this room, it's all about winning the end consumer. So me, from a brand perspective, I'm channel agnostic, but I should reach you as an end consumer. I cannot see where you should buy. So it's about the cooperation. You have a gross margin, and I'm really tired about this. That's what it's all about. The right product at the right time with a lot of magic. And that's what we're helping out with.
And talk about how you are helping. What's the best case scenario for implementing a tool like Impulso and getting that kind of data sharing between the brands and retailers? What's the upside?
Yeah, so what we do, we have this tool called Product Tracker, and what we do there is that we're connecting brands with all their retailers, and by doing that, you are able to track, structure, and share real-time data. So it puts a total new way of collaboration. You become a true partnership, and it's about winning the end consumer. And by doing that, you're achieving and driving sell-through. That's the only KPI that matters. I have used a lot of other KPIs, but that's only for me to cover my ass in boardrooms. It's sell-through. If you have sell-through, all your other KPIs will be on fire. So we're building a data rail between brands and online, offline, wholesale that do not exist today. So we take them from being blind to see.
So you come from being like an operator, now you're running this tech company, Impulso. When you're out speaking with your former colleagues at brands today, what challenges are they coming to you with? What are some of the pain points?
We don't solve the root cause. Everyone is chasing, let's have higher margins so I can continue being inefficient. That's one. I think that's a stupid idea. I don't think that it's also overproduction is a total consequence of overestimation. No one comes to the work to be mediocre. It's due to we are guessing. And it's not a tech stack issue. We can solve this. There are so many great tools. It's a trust stack problem.
What do you mean by that?
Brands have chosen a specific retailer in a specific city. That I can sell to other. That specific retailer, among all these other brands, they've chosen us. But then still, there can be, it's like, I don't know if I want to share the data. And then you're like, what's the surprise? Me as a brand know what you've been buying. That's not the secret. 5-6 months down the line, that retailer will show me how the season was, because that's how you plan the next buy. And then you're sitting there, this didn't go well, that didn't do. So then we keep ourselves in this partnership. How can you optimize something that you don't have measured? You're just sitting there and arguing and guessing. Let's be transparent, use that data, help each other out, get that end consumer. So it's a lot about trust, because the tech is there. We're working with fantastic brands and great retailers and achieving high results. And then still someone standing there and trembling.
Linda, when you are hearing this conversation?
But I think it's interesting because Eric from Lede talked about it also, that you have some of the retailers are sharing data, and the big one sees the value in this partnership of building business together around the brand, but some don't have technology because they're too small or they don't have the trust. So, but if the value are taking away this overproduction that we have because we are guessing, and also, of course, having the right assortment in the store, and that is being relevant to the customer, we truly need to share data and be more relevant. So I just love this type of technology. I love when technology are solving the problems of the industry.
It's like this is how you've been doing trade for thousands of years, that it's becoming much more complex, and then you need to help the technology to just boil down and actually really easy thing. But if I don't, today, in best cases, it takes 95% of your time is analyzing, and then 5% into actions that should swap the opposite around.
And also this, because the operation, we were talking about the operation. So what we see today with all the new channels, or the channels are growing, and the separation, the silos in the organization, that where we have some sales for retail, they're working with retail, these guys are working with e-commerce. And then you have, so we have a problem in the organization, and of course we have the problem with sharing data between those. So, and that's why we have this. I think the standard now is like overproduction of 40% in the industry. The planned overproduction. The real, we don't want really to talk about, right? No one is really sharing that. So we need to get rid of that. If we want to be more sustainable, of course we should go for great cotton and everything. But if we just take away this 40% of planned overproduction, we are really in a so much better shape than we are today. So bringing this data to everyone and taking decision on the data, that is key.
Laurent, I want to come back to your solution here, and you know, in the Nordics, like the sustainability discussion has been really like alive. How important is that for Markmi, and how you like interact with your customers?
So we also believe that sustainability is a really important part of the fashion business. I think for us, we only play our role in a very specific part of the whole value chain. I do think that we do have an impact on sustainability, in the sense that we give more foresight in how the trade-off will be between revenue, margin, and sell-through. So there, I think fashion retailers will be able to make this trade-off better, to really decide how much sell-through do I want to have, how much margin do I want to sacrifice for a certain sell-through. So that's one thing. Secondly, we typically help fashion retailers to generate more margin. This margin can be used in many ways. Can be brought to the shareholders, or you can use it to do more sustainable things. So I think these are two ways we can we help actually move this the sustainability of fashion retail forward.
Sure. And we always come down to also implementation of technology. And Søren, I want to hear from you in terms of like when you're searching for new tools and technologies from Zizzi's perspective, what does that process look like when assessing a new piece of technology? Is it several different people inside the management team that needs to sign off on it? Do you sign off on it yourself? Talk me through that process.
Well, we can take the Markmi as an example. I think it's also a quite good example. It was me who led the project. It was me who was searching for a tool. I think we also discussed this. This was probably the opposite way around. We knew we wanted a tool, and then Markmi got lucky or good that we talked to them. But typically we would be 2 or 3 guys from management being into such a process. For this case, it was me, it was our IT director and our CFO, since it's impacted all sides of that. And then typically would go to the management room to be finalized and to be signed off. And what are we looking at in terms of such a tool? Is be something that can run independently. So we don't want something we need to build into our existing infrastructure. So it should not be a part of our ecosystem. It should be something we could put on and initially also take off if we want that at the end of the period. So that is quite important for us. And one thing, and the reason we actually chose Markmi, was that since this is a new way for us. It is not something we have not done before. We needed something that also had a nice UX or UI, something that was easy to work with. So it's not tech people who are using it, it's fashion people, so it needs to be something that is quite easy to understand and work with. So that was also quite key here.
David, do you recognize this situation where you have to kind of convince several different stakeholders inside a brand to get through to implement the technology?
Especially when it comes to a different way of working. It's like that's not the tech in itself, but it's this whole kind of it's about identifying the real pain. I think that it's like if the pain are big enough, the companies will prioritize that. And then, of course, you come into the business case part, and then, okay, hey, I have a return on investment of 700%. This might be a good idea to do. But it's human being who using the tech. So it's in our service, then it's like, well, David, I've been blind for 25 years in wholesale, so maybe I can be blind another season. So it's all about this kind of, identifying the pain in whatever, since I've been heading up all the value chain, and then it's like, okay, what are the right solution to solve that pain?
Laurent, I want to hear from you as well. I mean, this interaction, I mean, you interact with many different brands. How does that implementation look like? Is there a lot of convincing a new way of working as well?
Yeah, I think that's the key thing. Like, if projects fail, and they don't often fail, but if they fail, it's always, as you say, a trust stack issue rather than a tech stack issue. Like tech, I don't say the tech never fails, but it fails way less than trust and adoption. So I think creating this adoption is super key. Is also for us a focus point. Actually, we have a really good post-sales team that helps with the adoption. Super key. And also, I would say in that sense, executive sponsorship is also very key, because we are changing a process. Like, people used to go over an Excel sheet, thousands of lines, do it line by line, and it might be boring and might suck even. But the thing is, they had the perception of control. We do all the calculations for them. They get the recommendations. They can check everything they want, actually line by line, but the perception of control is lower, while actually, I would say you have more control. So why am I saying this? Yes, these people at a certain point in time will get a bit anxious. Like, oh, okay, and this just came out in 15 minutes. Normally this takes 4 days. So, and at that point in time, you need to have a CEO who says, like, it's fine. Like, if it goes wrong, it's on my account. Do it. And this actually makes the big difference. And if the CEO is not fully convinced, or it can be CEO or C-1, like then sometimes the project just stops. People just say, like, they block, I'm not going to do this, and then revert. They go to 10,000 lines themselves because they believe it's a better way. So yeah, for me, two things: adoption and really giving people comfort and making sure they understand, and executive sponsorship. These are like two critical things for AI adoption in general.
I want to end by talking about some opportunities here. I mean, both Markmi and Impulso solve a very specific. You have a very specific product that you are going to market with right now. But what are some of the unlocks from, like, really implementing your tool, really implementing these kind of data sharing and the AI tools? What other things can happen for a brand if we go down this space? Let's see 2-3 years from now. Laurent, start with you.
So you mean with our tool specifically, if they keep on using it for 2-3 years?
Yeah, but also like the AI,
in general, what I expect is going to happen.
Also with AI adoption,
Okay.
like within a brand.
Yeah, I think in general, like, so we are solving a part of the process. You are solving, like, there are many. Like, I have a customer, and he told me, I cannot tell the name, but he told me, like, it's a really big one. That this company is run on 1,000 Excel sheets and one SaaS tool, and you're the SaaS tool. So these other 100 Excel sheets, you probably solve 1 or 2 of them. We solve 1 or 2 of them, and then you have another 994. So I believe that from these tasked Excel sheets, like take the 100 most important ones, the most critical ones, the ones that the CEO is thinking about, and I believe that in all these things there will be assistants, AI-driven assistants that will help the operator to do to make their decision making. We do it in pricing, you do it in data sharing. You will see it. We also currently see it in inventory management, and then the last thing is actually, or not the last thing, but another key thing will be assortment management and just general buying planning. So, like, yeah, I believe 5 to 10 years from now, maybe 3 is a little bit too short. Like in 10 years, I believe that all successful fashion retailers will have like an AI-driven tooling set of, I don't know, it might be one tool actually at that point in time that actually supports all the core operational processes within the fashion retailer.
David, from your perspective, what do you see? What are the unlocks?
But I think the big part is going to be like 1% of your time will be analyzing. That AI will take care of that, and then the people working there have 99% of the time actually taking wise human decisions in how you operate this. Just to give you an example, now we all laugh about it, but when we at Tiger of Sweden were launching a B2B platform many years ago, you know, I thought it was great if we're talking about tech, because AI will soon in 5 years be like a B2B platform. They can, you know, why should they call our customer service? They can place it before the shop opens and after and during the weekend. Ooh, hello, I'm so smart. We had 15% adoption. And everyone's like, we want to call in. And now if I come to a retailer and say I don't have a B2B platform, they will say I cannot work with you. So we will then in 10 years, we will talk about the next part. Then AI will be like a B2B platform, what it is today. That's my strong belief.
Søren, I'm going to have to let you have the last word here. What do you see on the horizon? What are some of the tools you are looking for, or some of the? Are there still Excel sheets that you are looking to get rid of?
Yeah, definitely.
Me too.
Oh,
I also Excels.
I think, as Laurent also mentioned, the whole planning side of it. I think there's a lot to do there. A lot is still Excel driven. There's also one of the earlier participants here talked about the whole loop of it, the loop of data. So taking the data from the markdown strategy, feeding it back into the planning, I think there's a big potential there. And then there will also be some, I think there's one who talked about AI fatigue. I think there will also be big discussions on which technologies to adopt and which not to adopt. It will become increasingly difficult to choose the right ones because there are so many. And then the whole concept of should you build yourself or should you go external is also quite big here. So a lot of possibilities, but also I think there will be a lot of challenges in selecting the right tools.
Lots to cover in upcoming sessions. Laurent, Søren, and David, thank you so much for sharing your insights here today.
Thank you.